So this all started about 2 months ago when I bought a really bad and cheap steering wheel for Euro Truck Simulator 2 and Farm Simulator 19. Those are the two games that I love playing in the evening when I've been working around the house, doing something in the garden, or just YouTubing all day. Basically whenever I'm tired and I just want to chill. Because I've always played these with either a controller or, in the case of Farming Simulator, the keyboard, and I wanted to see what it would be like with a steering wheel. However, I didn't want to buy an expensive steering wheel right away because I was worried I was gonna get bored of it after like a few weeks. So the idea there was to buy a really bad one, and if I'm still enjoying playing with it after about a month, I can then buy a more expensive one. So I bought the really bad one, played with it for about a month, and still loved it. Also, the really bad one started to break after about a month, and I had to repair it twice to even make it through that month. Now, I bought a G920, which is kind of like a good racing, it's like a good budget racing steering wheel. I saw it on a sale, so I picked it up. However, I was only playing Euro Truck Simulator every now and then. I would basically just do one delivery a day, if that. Sometimes I didn't even feel like it, and I would only jump into Farming Simulator every now and then as well. So I started looking for different racing games to try it out with. And the one I ended up with was Dirt Rally 2, which was simultaneously the worst and the best one I could have picked. And it's partially due to my own stupidity, which I'm happy for now because I didn't actually read any reviews. If I had read any of the reviews, I wouldn't have bought it. There is no way I would have bought this. Because as it turns out, this is like a dirt rally sim game. And even though this meme is kind of getting old, it is being described as the Dark Souls of driving games. Now the problem with that isn't just that I never played a rally game or even like a sim racing game. I don't even have a driver's license. Well, that's not entirely true. I do have a driver's license for a forklift. That is the only thing I am legally allowed to drive. It was never necessary for me to have a driver's license. The public transport in Czech Republic is really good, and I have a solid bike, so I can get around just fine without a driver's license. But it did present a wee bit of a problem for me, because going from I have never driven a car to playing the Dark Souls of racing games is a bit of a jump. It was really difficult for me, and it still kind of is, to realize what I'm doing wrong. Like, for example, a somewhat simple concept of braking a little bit right before a turn so the weight of the car shifts forward so you can steer better was a completely alien concept to me, and I didn't understand why I couldn't steer properly. I was constantly on the verge of giving up on it for the first, I would say, about a week, because I was simply not having fun, right? When you're driving around and you're constantly crashing, you don't know why, you don't know what's going on, you don't understand what's happening, it's just not that much fun. I even uninstalled it at one point, but after about 2 days I was just like, come on man, is this how you're gonna do it? You're gonna let it win just like that? So I reinstalled it back up and decided to watch some YouTube tutorials, which helped me tremendously, both in terms of the actual setup with my steering wheel, like limiting the rotation on that quite a bit actually, which helped tremendously, but also some of the little tips, like for example, you should kick the brake a little bit before the turn to shift the weight so you can actually turn. And then there was also something about kicking the clutch while turning, which is something you can do if you're driving manual, which I'm not, because for the time being I feel like trying to keep the car on the road and not French kiss trees while listening to my co-pilot spit out directions is quite enough for my plate for now. And what do you know, actually watching tutorials and paying attention and reading through some tips and tricks as well as practicing in the game made a big difference. I actually started winning races. Somehow. It's actually kind of weird. I either end up first or last. There's no in between. I either feel pretty good about the race and I do pretty well, or I end up French kissing trees all the way through. Now, one thing that I've noticed, and I think it's a little bit interesting, is that when I first started out, I was going fast, like really fast, way too fast. But as I started watching the videos and I started to learn it a little bit, I actually ended up going much slower, but I was doing better. And now I feel that I finally hit a point with this car anyway, to where I'm somewhat comfortable with it and I'm starting to go faster again. But only with front wheel drive cars for now. I started sort of dipping my toes into the rear-wheel drive, but that is way too unwieldy for me right now. Because I'm still not 100% confident even with the front-wheel drive ones. Like for example, drifting, I have no idea how drifting works. I'm starting to wrap my head around it and sometimes I pull it off, but most of the time I just balls it up and I, again, don't necessarily know what I'm doing wrong. Because again, this isn't an arcade racing game, this is more of a sim game, so you have to manage your car properly and actually manage the weight distribution to do it right. So basically I just need to watch more tutorials and learn how to do it, because some of the tighter turns, like I think this one right here, this one isn't too bad, I kind of balls it up, yep, almost hit a pole there, but specifically hairpins and stuff like that are very difficult if you don't know how to drift properly. The reason I haven't watched a tutorial on drifting yet is because I wanted to figure it out on my own and I've been trying that and I'm sort of building up the muscle memory. I specifically remember one race where I was going into a 3 right and it immediately linked into a 1 left and I didn't realize the 1 left was so close to the 3 right and I was just like, well, I am going way too fast to make this without a drift, so I just sort of pulled the handbrake a little bit and I made it through really well and that felt good. So I was like, maybe I want to try to figure this out on my own, but I don't know, maybe I'll just watch a tutorial. I'm still not sure. I like discovering things on my own. Now, I don't think I can properly describe how difficult this game was for me to pick up in the beginning. It is just ridiculous. Just finishing the race without totaling my car was a miracle. And finishing an entire location, which is multiple races back to back with only 2 repairs allowed, one at the very start and one after the second race, was damn near impossible for me. But I kind of like that because now that I'm able to drive through an entire course and sometimes not even damage my car at all is that much more rewarding for me. Just being able to control the car kind of, and make it do what I wanted to do most of the time, it feels like a massive achievement to me. And I'm very glad that I decided to stick with it because I can't wait to do one more race, to try and get a little bit better, to try different cars, try different courses. It's just a lot of fun. Because while yes, I'm still very new, I know there is so much room to grow. Like just to watch any of the good racers in Dirt Rally 2 and you're gonna be amazed. Those people are nuts. Like in this footage, I drive at half the speed of what they drive and I don't even have a fraction of the control over the car that they have. It is seriously impressive to me what these people can do and I want to try and learn how to do it as well because it's just really cool. So yeah, turns out I actually kind of like rally racing, even though I was never interested in it and I don't think I've ever watched a rally race. And it's also a good example of why I should never trust myself, because as I've said in the beginning, had I read the reviews or even watched it on YouTube, I would have never bought it. I think this is actually a trap that more people fall into. They tend to go for things they know they already like rather than trying out something that could be interesting. But, you know, it kind of makes sense with games being as expensive as they are nowadays. You can't really blame people for playing it safe when it comes to money. But anyway, I think I've been blabbering for long enough, so yeah, I don't think there's a point to this video. I just wanted to talk about Dirt Rally 2 because turns out I really like it and it's a lot of fun. So I thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video and my senseless rambling. And I'll see you some other time. Bye-bye.
Tightens of a crest past junction 30. Crest and 5 right long of a crest and 6 right. 6 left long. Caution 30, 6 right, tightens of a jump. 30. Flat right of a long crest into 6 left long of a crest. Into 6 right long of a crest, tightens 5 to crest and full left, opens. Slow 80, turn 3 right of a crest. 80. 6 left, opens 80. 4 left, tightens 3. into 6 right long of a crest, caution slow 50, crest into 2 left tightens. Into 4 right long of a crest, 50. Keep middle of a jump, 120. Turn unseen, 3 right tightens. Opens. To tarmac. 6 left of a crest long. Opens 80. 5 right of a dip. And finish into 6 left to stop. Well done.